viewers, Rectangular back, this time with my top figures of 2013. Now real quickly, I just wanted to start off with figures that didn't make it into the top 10. These would be my honorable mentions. I really like these figures, but they just had a few too many issues to consider them top 10 worthy. Starting off on the far left, we have the Marvel Legends Black Panther from Hasbro. Great figure, really like the classic look. Wish that he had come with an alternate head. An unmasked head would have been great. I think that would have really propelled him up into the top 10. Next up we have the Hydra Soldier from Hasbro. Now you might be asking yourself, why is he on there? Didn't the Captain America and SpiderMan Legends come out in 2014? But I was able to get my hands on these before Christmas, and also Slings was able to get his Spider-Man wave before Christmas as well. So technically those waves, even though the manufacturer may not have wanted them to come out until 2014, collectors were able to snag them. So I'm going to say they are still under the wire for 2013. So Hydra Soldier's great figure. Glad to see we get a new version. This would be the modern version compared to the old classic version we got from Hasbro, which is very poorly articulated figure and a little bit on the oversized proportion wise. But even though he does come with some decent accessories, I think that they kind of missed the mark a little bit on those weapons, and if he had a little bit more paint detail, I think maybe more of the buckles painted, or a little bit of shading maybe, that might have pushed him up into the top 10. Next up we have the Ironmonger from the Iron Man Legends. That was the Iron Man 3 movie Legends, and the only real decent sized build-a-figure that we got in 2013. All the others were mini build-a-figures. This one is a tad bit on the small side, but I think they did a really good job as far as making it very close to comic accurate, besides being a little bit on the small side. I really like the way that they swirled the paint in with the plastic. I think that turned out really nice. The sculpt is pretty good. I think if they had made the flaps on the shoulders movable, that would have been even better, because you can't get his arms too high up past those flaps. They are not movable. And the head, I would have liked the visor piece to be more red. He looks too much like a Cylon, I think that's what they were called, from Battlestar Galactica, so would have liked to have seen that tweaked just a little bit. Anyway, moving on, we have the Black Cat from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Legends, and really nice figure. Nice to see an updated version. Even though I do like the look of the new female figures as far as the hip joints go, for having such a dynamic character as Black Cat, who's basically an acrobat, you can't really get her into a lot of really acrobatic type poses because of that limited articulation in the hips. It would have been nice if we could get decent articulation out of that. I don't know if there's any way that they can tweak it other than giving us ball joints. And also the feet are quite small. She's hard to get to stand at times. But otherwise the sculpt and the paint are really nice, and she does come with a pretty decent accessory. And of course no ab crunch on her as well, but we're kind of having to get used to that Hasbro is just never going to give us an ab crunch on a female anymore. So, well, we can cross our fingers and see what happens. But Anyway, moving on, we have Luke Cage from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive box set, Thunderbolts box set, and I was really happy to get this figure. We needed a modern Luke Cage, and they did a pretty decent job. I don't know what it is, I just don't like the way he poses most of the time. I do know that the gauntlets impede the articulation just a little bit, and he is based on the Hyperion mold, and he doesn't have, they didn't fill in the hole in the back for the cape, which I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't particularly like it, but it's not a deal breaker. I don't know. There's a few things just here and there that just made me not love the figure. It is a good figure, but just little bits and pieces here. I think the what's it called? The quality control just really wasn't all that great on most of the figures in that box set. Alright, with that, let's go ahead and move into the top 10 list, starting from lowest to highest in priority. Alright, let's go. Okay, starting off the list at number 10, we have the Marvel Legends Moonstone from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive box set. Now, hopefully Hasbro will follow through like they have been promising, that we will see this figure single-carded down the road, and the rumor is that the running change will be the Dark Miss Marvel, which is also Moonstone. So I'm crossing my fingers for that, and if we don't hear something going down that road, I'm gonna have to make myself a custom, and this is an amazing figure for customs. A lot of really good customs have been coming out with this, from this body mold, and the Satana that also was in that same box set. I don't think the Satana has bicep swivel. This figure definitely does, and really love the articulation on it. I think they did a really good job with that pearlescent plastic that's very shimmery. They like mix the paint in with the plastic, very reminiscent of the new Iron Man figures that we got also from 2013, and I think they did a really good job with the sculpt. The paint is has a few issues here and there in between the or inner cleavage, and in the forearms is a little bit. They could have used a second coat. Other than that, I think it turned out really well. I like the hair. Also, if they had given her a disc instead of just the ball peg, maybe we could get her to look up a little bit better, and if they made the hair a little bit more flexible. So that's why she was all the way back on number 10 on the list, but really nice. Probably the best female figure that we've got from Hasbro so far. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. Next up at number 9, we have Wrecker. Now, probably after Hydra or next to Hydra, this is my favorite team of villains, would be the Wrecking Crew. So I was so excited that we finally got the Wrecker. Crossing my fingers that we get that damn bulldozer. But wow, we can only hope. Now, they did a really good job on this figure. It's not quite a new sculpt. They still have the legs from the Hulkling, but and the arms as well are the same from the Pile Driver and Thunderball. but they did beef up his torso, which is really nice, and they did a really good job with the paint shading on his boots and gloves and belt and his head. Did a really good job on the head sculpt, and I think they killed it with the paint applications. You know, there's not really, doesn't look like there's any wash on the green areas, but I don't care. I'm going to modify one of the pile drivers that I have, or I'm sorry, the Thunderball that I have, so that he has a little bit different color costume. His costume should be a little bit lighter than, or brighter green than the Wrecker, so they stand out against each other. But the only complaint I have on this figure is if they had maybe moved the sculpt back on his collar, then he could look up, because the sculpt is really hindered by that. You know, it is on a disc, but since the collar's in the way, you know, he can't really look up. But I think they did a really good job on the crowbar, and yeah, very happy to get this guy. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next up at number 8, we have the Agent of A.I.M. And this is a very cool figure. I think the only reason it didn't get even higher on the list is mostly just for a few quality control issues and just not quite following through with the paint applications. The one thing I've noticed is that the buttons were painted on the arms, as you can see there, but not on his chest, so that seemed like a snafu there. And this one looks like it has 2 left feet or 2 right feet. Can't tell. They look like they are flaring out the wrong direction, or I think they might have just put them on the wrong legs, so I don't know how easy that would be to fix. But otherwise, really nice sculpt, and I'm really excited that we should be getting Star-Lord in this same body mold. I'm actually going to be turning another one of these into a Red Skull, and really wish that they had used this for Red Skull instead of that ridiculous Nick Fury body that they keep reusing. But yeah, the accessories are really nice. They're way better than the ones that came with the Hydra Soldier. Paint applications, like I said, just fall a little bit short. They could have painted some of the buckles, the grenades. The handles on the grenades are painted on the front, but not on the back, and then none of the pouches have any paint applications. Also, on a lot of them, they're damaged here in the rear part of the belt. So this is one of the better looking ones. It's got a really nice sculpted visor. It's not just painted on, where you can actually feel the texturing on there. So really well done. But the only thing that they, like I said, the minor paint issues that I can touch up easily is maybe if they had given it a little bit of a wash on the yellow of the suit, would have made it just pop out a little bit more. Haven't decided if I'm going to go that route with mine, but still very good figure, well articulated. A little bit on the tall side, but it's forgivable for getting a brand new sculpt, so like this figure a lot. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Number 7 on the list is the Hasbro Infinite Series Marvel Legends Baron Zemo. Not to mention he's from the Captain America Winter Soldier wave. man, it's like there's so many details, so many names in that wave. But anyway, this is the modern version of Baron Zemo, which I think he's supposed to be his son or his grandson. Don't know, but I'm not a huge fan of the modern era of Marvel as I am the classic. So I am getting a second one to modify and turn him into more of a classic version of Zemo. As you know, the Toy Biz version is pretty terrible, but it's all we've had until now. So I'm gonna try to sculpt the fur on his shoulders. Probably that's all I'm gonna end up doing. I don't think I'm gonna go with the fur around his boots or anything like that, but just to give him more of a classic look. And really wish that Hasbro had given us actual removable pistols, or even just have them be usable holsters on that harness. They have sculpted pistols in there, which is just really ridiculous. I'm hoping that maybe I can, on the second Zemo I get, maybe modify the harness so that it can have actual pistol holsters. And the sword does fit in that kind of, it's not even really a scabbard, but that loop on his belt, and it's a little bit too close to his body where the sword gets, you know, bent by his leg. So I think if they had just positioned that a little bit off to the side, a little bit higher or back, further back, that would have helped out a lot. Also, I don't like how the color of the loincloth is the same as his legs, because when his legs are together it just kind of all blends together. But otherwise I think they did a really good job on the paint and the sculpt. Mine has pretty good lines on the top and on the back. I know that some people, they've had some issues with the lines not turning out that great, but I'm pretty happy with mine. And I did like that they went the extra mile and put another coat of paint over the yellow on his boots, and there's a little bit on the gloves as well. So yeah, really good figure, one of the strongest figures from the wave by far. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Coming in at number 6 on the list, we have the SH Figure Arts War Machine. Now, I'm a big fan of War Machine. Really liked how the suit looked in the movie. This is from the Iron Man 2 film. And I really love the scene at the end when you have Tony and Rhodes battling those pretty boring robots, droids, drones. But just seeing the Gatling gun, the minigun going off on that on his back, just oh man, it was the highlight of the film for me, at least. Anyway, really great figure. Love the articulation. Love the fact that you can remove the machine guns on his arms. The Gatling gun can get in every position you can possibly think of. They did a really good job with all the little paint or logo decal applications. Reason I guess that he's not higher up on the list is the would have liked to have seen maybe a different color for the arc reactor instead of just the plain silver. Maybe if they had made it where you could put in like a red disc over it, you know, that would have been cool. But even without that, it's still an awesome figure. It does have the, you know, different hands that you can swap out, and it has the rockets on the shoulders that you can add or remove. Even in the picture they show that the tips of the rockets are silver, and they did not paint that. So that's, you know, just little minor attentions to detail I think would have got it a little bit higher on the list. It does come with some really nice blast effects. Yeah, definitely pick this up if you are a big fan of the movie and a big fan of Iron Man and War Machine. They really look great together. Very nice in scale, very close to the Marvel Legends scale. If you watch my review of both figures, you can see how you can fudge the what's it called, hip joints to make it fit with your Marvel Legends. If you want to do like a pose with your Marvel Legends side by side, you can raise up the hip joints and make them a little bit taller. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. At number 5 from Revoltech, we have the, forgive me, I have to try to pronounce this, Takea Gundari Miyu, or Mayu. So hopefully I didn't slaughter that too bad. Now I primarily just collect Marvel characters, superheroes, but when I saw this guy, I absolutely had to have him. I previously had the Takea Ashura, which has 6 arms, and plan on using that for my Mandarin to basically make a statue come to life. And when I saw this guy, I had to have him. He's got 8 arms and amazing amount of details, so much to offer in the way of paint and sculpt. He's got cobras, snakes wrapped around his loincloth here like a belt. He's got like a tiger pelt. Oh, don't fall over, buddy. And just so much detail. He's got interchangeable hands for most of the arms, if not all. I can't even remember how many hands he comes with. And just tons of accessories. He is a little top heavy, so I have him on the stand he comes with. But very, very cool figure. If you want to learn more about this figure, check out the full review I did some months back. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. Here at number 4 from Revoltech, we have the Mark I Iron Man. And I was on the fence whether or not I wanted to get this at first, and man, I'm so glad I pulled the trigger on it. It's an amazing figure, especially if you are a big Iron Man fan. The only thing that would probably make it perfect is if the arc reactor lit up, but also if the I think the flame accessory is a little bit on the small side. It doesn't, you know, extend very far back from his hand, so that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully I can fashion another one of my own, or maybe from a customizer, and it does pop off so you can use it for other things. There we go. But yeah, I'll just, oh, and the little rocket does pop up here. So I did a full review. Actually, I was the first person to review this figure, so if you get a chance, check that out. Check out the review if you want to learn more about it. Really, really happy about this figure. You know, the articulation is going to be limited just because the sculpt is so realistic, but I think he does everything that Robert Downey Jr. was able to pull off in the film, and just amazing amount of detail went into the sculpt and the paint on it. And yeah, I don't know how expensive he is now, but if you were lucky enough to get him on the initial release, hopefully they'll re-release him at some point. But definitely pick him up if you're a Iron Man collector. You will not be disappointed. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Coming in at number 3 from Hasbro, we have the Amazing Spider-Man. Now, this is the movie figure from Spider-Man 2 that's coming out soon. And many of you may or may not know I like Spider-Man, but he's not my favorite character, mainly because he is by far one of the most popular characters in Marvel Universe, and tend to get turned off by, I don't like to follow the herd and follow and just get in line with what everybody else gravitates to. Still a very cool character. I really like Spider-Man. It was by far my dad's favorite character, and one of the earliest characters that I grew up learning about and liking when I was a kid. But anyway, I was really surprised at how much I like this figure. The more and more I mess around with it, the more I like it. The articulation is awesome, the sculpt is great, and especially for somebody who did not start out collecting Toy Biz Legends, I didn't get my Fearsome Foes Spider-Man until this past summer, and you know, that's an amazing figure. I do think he's a little bit too tall, so I think they Hasbro really hit it out of the park with this figure for new collectors. You know, if you weren't lucky enough to get one of the old McFarlane Spider-Man figures from Toy Biz, then this thing is a breath of fresh air. You know, we haven't had a figure this kick-ass since the Toy Biz days, so they really did a great job with being able to sculpt all the lines. They didn't just paint them on like they have been kind of just going through the motions with the previous Spider-Man figures that we got from the, let's see, that would have been the Terrax wave. And yeah, you know, it's not without its flaws. You know, it does have the exposed red joints there, which they could have painted easily, but I don't mind touching those minor things up like that. Also, I'm gonna touch up the neck peg so that he can look up a little bit further. But man, you at least get your money's worth out of this figure with all the sculpt, the texturing, and you know, coming with an extra set of hands is really nice as well. So yeah, but the only thing would have made him a 10 would be if he had they'd given him a like a web holding hand and an alternate head, you know, Peter Parker head. But some people have come up with some pretty good solutions for that as well. So yeah, definitely, if you can pick this guy up, well worth it, especially if you don't own a Toy Biz era McFarlane type Spider-Man, like a Fearsome Foes or Sinister Six even, or if you're lucky enough to have an actual McFarlane. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And at number 2 we have from Hasbro Boba Fett from the Black Series Star Wars figures. I was so excited to get my hands on this. I stopped collecting Star Wars figures years back, mostly because the 3 3/4 inch scale just was not enough detail for me. I ended up just keeping everything in package, and took a loss when I ended up giving away a bunch of them and selling off a few. I still have some bounty hunters. I still have some Boba Fett figures in 3 3/4 inch. But very cool to get this guy in 6 inch, and they did an amazing job on this figure. Even if you're not a huge fan of Star Wars, it's really hard not to love the amount of detail and just likeliness to the actual character from the movie. It's amazing. By far the best Star Wars figures that I've ever seen. It's got a nice cloth cape and comes with a jetpack that's removable. The pistol, very nice. The only major complaint is the not being able to fold down the sight on the helmet, and just this portion of the elbow. I'm always worried about breaking off that hose there. Also, the pockets, pouches on the belt kind of hinder the hip articulation just a little bit. But other than that, damn near perfect figure, especially for a domestic release. So this is my #1 domestic figure of the year by far. And yeah, I'm really surprised that you know, primarily I just collect Marvel Legends, so to have another product line make it to my #2 was pretty impressive. Alright, let's go ahead and see which figure made it to #1. Here we have my pick for top figure of 2013. It has to be the Iron Man 2, Iron Man Mark 6 from SH Figure Arts, otherwise known as Bandai. And wow, such a excellent purchase. I'm so happy I picked this guy up. Not a huge import collector, but by far the best Iron Man figure that I think has ever been made. I had the Mark III Hot Toys Iron Man and just recently sold that to my buddy Solid Snake, and that was a really nice figure, but this thing is even better. The only thing that the Hot Toys has that this doesn't is light up chest and hands, but what you're getting in as far as articulation and paint and even sculpt, I would say this thing is even better than the Hot Toys. The Hot Toys does come with a Tony Stark head, but you can actually pop this head off pretty easily and put on another head like the 2-pack Marvel Legends Tony Stark head. If you go back and watch my review for this figure, you can see that. And let me just show real quick the box that the figure comes in so you can see some of the awesome accessories. There we go. And see all the different flame effect or blast effects that you can put on his feet and hands. And on the back here you can see all the different accessories. So you've got the large blast effects that go on his feet and 2 on his hands, and the flaps are removable on the back of his, or adjustable on the back of his legs and back of his back. What else? He comes with 4 different sets of hands, and let's see, like I said, those flaps are removable or adjustable. And he has die-cast feet, die-cast metal feet, which make him really stable, which you want because the paint job is so nice you don't want to get this thing scratched. And I gotta say, it's probably the crown jewel in my collection, and if you can find him for a good price, definitely don't hesitate. I would pick him up, especially if you are a big Iron Man fan. Don't hesitate. Grab him at your first opportunity. So yeah, definitely love this figure. Alright, well, hopefully you guys liked my list. You hit like, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I always love hearing back from you, so please leave a comment below. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
That's crispy.